And then slowly over time, the enshittification of the product happens. And I think that's where things are going to go with something like cloud gaming. I think at the beginning it's going to be great, and then I think that you're going to have artificial, you know, like let's say latency increases, right? Like if you want a fiber optic connection or like a higher, you know, like a precision, you know, like machine or connection, you're going to have to pay more money. And then if you want certain games, you're gonna have to pay more money. And then suddenly you're getting piecemealed and dissected until you're paying like $50 a month, right? And this is what happened with Game Pass, is that Microsoft invested a tremendous amount of money into making Game Pass a really great deal and a tremendous value. It was a great deal and a tremendous value. I think it was. I've had Game Pass. I think it's amazing. But here's what happens, is that after you establish that market, after you control the market, now you can raise the price and you don't have as many competitors in the space that are really going to, like, you're going to lose business to. You can just do that. And that's what happens.
Whatever they want. They can even slide ads in with almost no friction. That is the future that these AAA publishers want.
Yep.
Now, the problem for them is that I don't think this plan is actually going to work in the real world. It's built on the assumption that everybody needs the highest end experience, that we are all desperate for cutting edge AAA titles and will follow the industry wherever it tries to push us. But that ignores the biggest risk in their entire strategy, one that is already happening right now. What if people don't buy in? What if players stop chasing high end entirely? What if they split into a different direction, a shift that ends up starving AAA while fueling the rise of studios who can thrive without expensive hardware?
I do think...
Now I'm going to give you guys two business terms.
I do think this will happen. Also, as well, is that, and you're already seeing this happen, where smaller indie studios are able to bring out video games at a infinitely lower price point. Well, not infinitely lower, but like, you know, $10 versus $70 price point. And I think they've been able to capture a huge market of people.
Demand destruction and market bifurcation. Demand destruction is when prices stay so high for so long that people just stop buying a product altogether. Market bifurcation is when a market splits into two groups that behave completely differently. The haves and have-nots in this case, if you will. And we're seeing both of these happen in the gaming industry right now, even if the shift has been relatively slow. Just take a look at Steam's latest hardware survey. NVIDIA's brand new 50 series GPUs, they're not even in the top 10. They're not even in the top 15. The 5070 sits at number 16. The 5060 is 22nd. And all their other high-end cards, they might as well not even exist at all. The top 5 are dominated by lower-end 30 and 40 series cards.
Well, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like, I mean, these higher-end cards are really expensive. I mean, they are. They're really expensive. Like, an average person doesn't have $1,000 to spend on a graphics card. I mean, really, like, that's insane.
Insane, for sure.
GTX 1650.
Like, look at this. Like, I mean, yeah, and a 3060, I think, yeah, you can run a lot of things with a 3060. Especially with DLSS. I know people don't like it, but I think people probably like DLSS more than spending $2,000, especially whenever they don't have $2,000.
6-year-old GPU is still holding strong.
No, it is.
People are not upgrading, and when they do, they're choosing the cheapest, most sensible option they can, either because of the cost or because they don't see any reason to chase higher-end hardware anymore. I think that this industry has completely misread this. I think that they're looking at these numbers and assuming that people want the highest end hardware but simply can't afford it.
Yep.
But that doesn't really track with reality.
Well, I think it is true that people can't afford it, but the thing is that affordability is always a spectrum. Like, the reality is that for, like, a 3060 is going to be able to run, like, 90% of games, right? 95% of games. And so are you really going to make a very large purchasing decision for being able to play a handful of video games with a different water texture? There's a huge diminishing returns there. Huge. And like for maybe a guy that's a computer enthusiast or something like that, yeah, they're gonna do that. But for most other people, they're not. 3060 can run Megabonk at 8K. I believe that. I do. I believe that. I want to say that I did rendering for my PC, my streaming PC. That's the one that's behind me. One of those. I have a fucking computer graveyard over there. But the blue one, the one I had, it had a 2080 Ti, and I had that computer from like 2020 or 2021 up up until like 3 weeks ago. Not a single problem.
Switch 2 broke
No, it was blue. That way the temperature of the computer would stay low.